Now, your forecast first on WKRG News 5 at 6.
All right, a very good evening. It is now 6 o'clock. Dauphin Island Sea Lab, a view from the Eastern Shore Toyota camera. Some of the waves of Mobile Bay crashing onto some of the rocks there on Dauphin Island. 79 degrees this evening, increasing rain and increasing threat of tropical storm weather. That's the view from Sweat Tires Cam Orange Beach. The beach is mostly empty now. 77 by 8 p.m. And there's the pier. A lot of folks walking on it at Fort Walton Beach, but those waves will start to ramp up tonight. Temperature 77 degrees. Of course, all eyes on Francine. The latest information and the latest impacts to our neck of the woods that'll come our way tonight. WKRG News 5 at 6 starts right now.
Straight ahead, we have plenty of boots on the ground across our stretch of the Gulf Coast, bringing you live coverage as we track Hurricane Francine.
Local coverage you can count on. You're watching WKRG News 5 at 6.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for being with us tonight. I'm Roseanne Haven.
And I'm Peter Albrecht. Of course, top of mind tonight, Hurricane Francine making landfall on the Gulf Coast. Southern
Louisiana is bearing the brunt of the storm right now. Check out this video taken by the Cajun Navy in Terrebonne Parish. Now, this was taken when Francine made landfall. You can see and hear those high winds and rough surf breaking upon the Louisiana coast. Our stretch of the Gulf Coast will see impacts from this. Chief Meteorologist Ed Bloodsworth joins us now. What are we expecting?
Everything that comes with tropical storm conditions for us. We'll stay out of the hurricane force winds, but it is going to be a pretty rough 12 to 18 hours for the stretch of the Gulf Coast. Here's a look at the radar picture as Francine made landfall here again, Terrebonne Parish as a Category 2. Those speeds have now dropped down. It has weakened now since it made landfall, but look at the wind gusts right now. We're seeing some of these are a mix of sensor data and estimates, anywhere from 40 to as much as 60 plus miles per hour now. We're getting even some higher gusts here and there. So Francine, now a Category 1 hurricane, moving to the northeast, will roll through the boot of Louisiana and into central Mississippi. In fact, the center could come very close to Jackson. Locally, we've actually had some breakup in the rain here, but what I'm keeping a very close eye on tonight is a big tail of thunderstorms developing on the southeast side of Francine, and that is going to bring in an isolated tornado threat as we press past sunset tonight. So here's our latest run of the predictor. Those storms start moving in, now projected around 8 to 9 o'clock tonight, and again, those will bring in a threat of isolated tornadoes. That threat continues into northwest Florida through the early morning hours of Thursday. This will also bring some very heavy rain. Localized flooding will also be an issue. The center, again, likely to stay off to our west. The good news here is that dry air will wrap into the system, and we're thinking most of the day Thursday will be mostly dry, just some spotty rain left over behind the system as Francine continues to roll off to the north. So we're going to be looking at a surge threat tonight as well. This will continue into early tomorrow morning, still projecting around 2 to 4 feet of surge along the Alabama coast and into Mobile Bay. Higher amounts closer to the center, around 3 to 5 feet, and in northwest Florida, we're expecting 1 to 2 feet of surge. Again, those higher totals coming during those high tide cycles as we move through tomorrow morning. We're going to talk a little bit more about the tornado threat and take a look at some of those forecast wind gusts coming up in just a few minutes.
We have live team coverage stretching across our portion of the Gulf Coast. We head west first, where the storm's impacts are expected to be the strongest.
Asher Red is in Bay St. Louis, Mississippi. Asher, how have things changed there throughout the day?
Yeah, Pete and Roseanne, we are currently just getting whipped by the easternmost bands of this storm. The rain has been spotty, but the wind is what's consistent. The wind is what's drawing in the waves behind me, the white caps and the rising tide. Now, we are also seeing fewer people on the streets. I think that the news of landfall has scared some people into going back to their shelter, which is exactly what they should do. Now, I did have the opportunity to speak with 2 local fishermen just before landfall earlier today, and they say they are not going home until things get, quote, sketchy.
Ain't no better day to fish than a hurricane. Better than sitting at the house.
Yeah, brings in fish. I'm guessing.
Yeah, it just pushes in a lot of fish.
Are you at all concerned about Hurricane Francis at all?
Not yet.
Not yet? Gotcha. When would you
said when it gets sketchy.
If I think it's sketchy, I'll leave, but I ain't drowning yet.
Okay, gotcha.
Now, of course, here in Mississippi, there are parts that are under an emergency warning, and there is tornado threats, there's the threat of storm surge, and there, of course, is the wind advisories that are attached to it. All of that bundled into one Category 2 storm here in Bay St. Louis, rather. Live in Bay St. Louis, I'm Asher Red, WKRG News 5. Pete.
All right, thank you, Asher. Heading east now to Mobile County, where we are closely monitoring impacts.
Akivia McFarland is on the causeway in the Weather Beast to tell us what she's seen there.
Hi, Pete. Hi, Roseanne. We are on the causeway right now, making our way eastbound. Now, the road conditions are still pretty good at the moment, but the big takeaway that I'm noticing right now is the last hour or so, we are noticing those wind gusts beginning to pick up. Let's go ahead and turn this around so we can see that view from the front of the Weather Beast. You can see everything is clear, but you will want to be careful if you're driving out here. Have a good hold of that wheel now that those wind gusts are seeing at about a little more than 20 miles per hour. The other thing we're noticing is that ALDOT crews are here on the causeway as well, on standby, watching those water levels, getting ready to shut things down if necessary. But right now we have not reached that point. So as you can see, we're still in a good place here on the causeway between Mobile and Baldwin County. So we will continue to watch things here. But another takeaway is overnight into the early morning, that's when you'll want to watch out in this particular area. We're expecting that high tide that can bring in that heavy flooding. Now over in Dauphin Island, our Jeremy Jones has been keeping an eye on things there. And Jeremy, you are seeing a little more action than what we're getting on the causeway over here.
Yeah, I am, Akivia. I've been here on Dauphin Island since about noon, so for the past 6 hours, I really have seen a lot of things intensify and pick up. For example, I've seen these waves get only heavier and heavier and heavier as the day has gone by. Now, also along with those waves, we're getting a little bit of drizzling out here. It's not too bad. It was a bit heavier earlier, but now it is much lighter. Barely really can feel any drizzling, but the waves have been getting stronger and stronger. Now, over here, we really don't see anybody at the beach, really, but I've talked to some people who are vacationing on Dauphin Island who say that they're not afraid of whatever Hurricane Francine will bring them.
We were hoping it would go somewhere else, but, you know, we're going to stay. We're going to enjoy ourselves. Yesterday, I fished probably 8 hours in the rain.
Yeah.
And caught some fish, so we enjoyed ourselves.
You got to make the best of it. We booked this a year in advance, so you don't know what the weather's going to do.
That's
so
true.
Just got to make the best of it. We're going to have a hurricane party.
And Hurricane Francine's impacts, we'll still be monitoring how those impacts will impact us here on Dauphin Island. So we'll continue to keep an eye out here. Reporting live on Dauphin Island, Jeremy Jones, WKRG News 5.
All right, thank you, Jeremy. Let's head across the bay now to Baldwin County.
WKRG News 5's Debbie Williams is in Gulf Shores, where there's been a break in the rain in the last hour or so, Debbie.
Yeah, it's been pretty soggy through most of the day. We started about half an hour ago getting a break in that rain, and that brought a lot of people out onto the beach to, I guess, enjoy the beach while they could in some dry weather. Can't really see them now, and maybe they've gone to dinner, but you do see a very stormy Gulf of Mexico. Waves are breaking at 3 to 6 feet right now. That's expected to build over the evening hours now that Hurricane Francine has made landfall. Now, one of the things that we're concerned about over here is the storm surge and the coastal flooding. Water is also a concern for folks that we talked to earlier that had evacuated from Louisiana coming to Gulf Shores. They just now are afraid that they didn't go far enough east.
They were saying 10-foot storm surges just a little south of us, so we figured we can escape it coming this way. We thought we'd be completely out of the path of the hurricane.
There was another gentleman there that was also saying that it was the water that was concerning him as well. And that's something that we're going to have to watch for here in Baldwin County. The wind has picked up a little bit. The rain may have gone away, but the wind has picked up a little bit as we're expecting some of those outer bands to come in, as you heard Ed say, around 8 or 9 o'clock tonight. That'll be when we really need to hunker down and watch that weather. Live in Gulf Shores, Debbie Williams, WKRG News 5.
Thank you, Debbie. We now turn to Northwest Florida, where residents have been prepping.
WKRG News 5's Alexa Daly is live on Pensacola Beach tonight. Alexa, how are things there right now?
Well, Pete, things are actually still relatively calm. The rain has subsided and there still is some wind, but out of an abundance of caution, the county tells us this sailboat, the Lady Catherine III, that washed ashore in June, has been moved to this access point on Avenida 18 so that it isn't impacted by high surf. That surf already kicking up in the Gulf. The county tells us the contractor will completely remove the boat from the beach in the coming days. And again, while things are still relatively calm, Northwest Florida could see some flooding later. We're under a coastal flooding advisory, so be careful if you're traveling. Live on Pensacola Beach, Alexa Daly, WKRG News 5.
Thank you, Alexa. More school closures have been announced for tomorrow. Some of those include Mobile County Public Schools, Chickasaw City Schools, Shelton Academy, and the Government Street Christian School. You can find a full list of closures and schedule changes along the Gulf Coast on the homepage of WKRG.com.
And be sure to download the free WKRG weather app so you can track Francine wherever you are. Also, for information on school closures, schedule changes, where sandbags are available, you can find all of that as well at WKRG.com.
We appreciate your making WKRG your favorite news at 6.
Hurricanes here, wildfires out west. More weather coverage when we come back.
Well, we are just a few hours away from the onset of tropical storm force wind gusts tonight, especially in our Mississippi counties, but even coastal areas could see some rough winds. Dangerous weather will stick around in terms of the marine conditions. Rip currents and high waves will start to dry things out through Thursday and Friday. So next 5 hours, again, tropical storm conditions and gusts coming in by 9 to 10 o'clock tonight. That marine weather tomorrow, again, gusts to 40 knots, seas still 7 to 11 feet in some areas. That high tide, very important, coming tomorrow morning at 6:32. Full forecast and another look at Francine's path next.